So if you allow me, I will go for the next station actually, which is the COVID-19 and how it affected. But let me just remind, if you just join the session, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, you're most welcome again. And we're just talking about the UAE Pro League, the TV production and broadcast site. At the same time, we just mentioned a couple of challenges, and one of those challenges, I believe, the COVID-19. It's somehow shaped a new era of broadcast technologies. And before going with that part, and I believe the UAE Pro League did a couple of impressive reactions for the COVID-19. One of them is the audio cheering. At the same time, the second one is implementing the augmented reality on top of the stands, trying to fill what's happening there. So I would like to start on that part with Malek. Can you tell us about the experience of COVID-19 and the effect that happened?
Thank you, Ammar. For us, it's a very important topic because we learned a lot. I think everybody looked at COVID as, of course, it's a pandemic and it basically affected a lot of businesses. But we looked at it more internally as an accelerator. It helped us look 5 to 10 years into the future on what the basically product could look like. You basically spoke about the audio effects, which I believe that we had that chat, myself and you, in our first lockdown back in, probably January 2020. We sat down, we were like, what can we do? Then we started saying, how can we integrate virtual audio? We had a couple of meetings with service providers, and then ultimately at the end of the day, we derived audio tracks that could be basically played in a very immersive manner, where it's basically someone sitting down in the bench itself, watching the football and reacting to it. It was actually an interactive setup. And not only we got praised on it, but we basically had calls from the broadcasters later on saying, please don't stop it. We have the football matches now sound even more live than before. And that led us also into starting to consider how can we compensate our sponsors, because now we were basically having these very tough discussions with sponsors that wanted to downscale. You had businesses wanting to shut down operation, let alone spending on sports. So this is where we said, how can we utilize the stadium as an open canvas, and then utilize this canvas to start putting more awareness on the brands. And this is where we started utilizing the basically commercializing the space through the utilization of virtual or basically augmented reality, and started giving our sponsors more value. Funny enough, when we came to discussing renewal of sponsorship, we were in a position to actually ask for more. So while properties were cutting down investment, we basically had very nice conversation with our sponsors that ultimately renewed, paid more, and led us to basically landing our, as I said, our initial title sponsorship with Ammar Pro League. So I think we utilized the technology to its best. That basically helped us basically to be in the position we are in today.
Yeah, and parallel on that was the using the augmented reality elements at the same time. So I don't know if you have any comment on that part, André?
Sure. So of course,
other than he hated us at the beginning.
I love you, Malek. I love you. Yeah. So of course, we as a company, we also had to adapt to a new world, and with pandemic came also new opportunities for us. So we end up developing our AR3 that was already released, but we were able to adapt it to the new world. So we were able to use it with some clients, completely virtual crowds. So we could fill the stadiums virtually. For the UAE Pro League, the challenge was to utilize the main camera stand, the front stand, and weekly to have different kind of content there, even advertising Pro League itself, advertising sponsorship, festive dates, celebrations. So on that part, we were able to fill a space that, of course, there was no crowd. So we had a perfect canvas to utilize the AR system, and at the same time, during the break and the pre-matches, when there is no match, to utilize the full pitch. And this is when we start using the AR with the heat maps. We were able to do head-to-head players using the data collected by the tracking system and by the system in the hobbies. So we were able to utilize what we were already doing it in a different way, show it in a different way. So it was challenging, but it was in the end a good experience. And I think Pro League was very happy with the end result, because we continued doing it this season, even when the crowds came back to the stadiums.
Yeah, I remember the struggle that the team had to collect the audio audio clips to make it easy for whoever on the mixer. To be honest, I'm a very classic when it comes to football. I'm a very classic guy. I was somehow fighting against that part, but when the results came in and the satisfaction from everyone came, I believe it helped a lot. Maybe I'm going to ask Talal about that part. We were struggling when we have no fans with the audio inside the pitch. Whoever was even chatting on the bench, it was like some kind of screaming, how it sounds on air. And when this virtual elements came in, I believe it helped a lot. Can you tell us about that, please?
Yes, Ammar, actually, yes. The virtual really helped a lot, as you know, I mean, the engineers, the audio engineer or the video engineers, everyone think to provide his service in a good way and think only about his side, Let's say the audio, as you remember. I mean, for the audio, they need to listen to every single low or high, So for them, they need to listen to the ball cut, let's say. When they kick the ball, they need to listen. So in that case, they need to increase the level of the audio mixer. So then this take us to listen to even to the players shouting to each other, not even the coaches. So yes, was not really easy. To manage with this, especially with the first round, until we convince everyone that guys. Now the stadium is empty, and we don't need to listen to all this shouting, let's say, or bad things or bad words from coaches. So yes, for sure. What we call it, Ammar, the fans, the audio. Okay, this for us, this make a huge difference actually. Even in real, it is not like a real sound, everybody is watching that the stadium is empty, but they are listening to someone who's clapping or celebrating. And then for me especially, this was like a good experience, and for me this is keep adding actually, even with the 30% or less attendance, with this sound. For me, yes, this make different, and for me I like it actually.
Yeah, and I just need to highlight that the advantage and the what was impressive, that the Pro League collected special clips from old matches. So it was not same as you're watching a match on PlayStation and you're listening to a crowd cheering not related to what's happening. So it was crowd cheering happening from old matches related to the league, related to the theme of the league, and even the crowd happening there. Paulo, can you tell us about that, please?
Yes, was a challenge, because at the end was also was new for us, but will help a lot to fill the missing, the public. So at the end, the crowd, as you mentioned, was not a normal crowd or a usual crowd. So we bring the feel and that we are used to before, because at the end the crowd was from previous matches with the same type of public. even stadium by stadium, the crowd effects are different. So at the end, if you are watching 2 or 3 matches in a row, it was not the same in all the matches. It was different stadium by stadium, and this filled a gap that needs to be filled, because at the end, as we mentioned before, the stadium was empty, so everybody, even chatting each other, we can hear through the mic. So at the end, this was a huge help for us, even for us inside the OB, and I think also inside the viewers inside house. Was much more pleasure to see the match and to enjoy the match.
Yeah, I can imagine. So just as long we're talking about the COVID-19 and the effect happened, what was the experience from your side, Mohammed? How the COVID-19 affected your product, your services?
Somehow, unfortunately, that was helpful for us, and that was positive impact for us, because obviously COVID-19 is not good things for the for all the persons, but for us, from business point of view, that was good, because both of our technologies that we are implementing right now, both of them are totally remote, and we are doing everything from our office, as you know. And even the live works that we had with UAE Pro League, that was pure software based and remotely. And this is a very big advantage right now for all the right holders and production teams, that they really like to work with the technologies that they see. Fans like the outputs, but there is no integration at all with any part of the production team. So even right now, that with lifting of many restrictions regarding the COVID-19, still many of the production teams, they want to continue exactly the pure software-based production. And at the beginning, when we wanted to implement our solutions, no one had believed that we can do this without being in the stadium. And this is exactly what I mentioned, that you and the UAE Pro League team supported us and trust us to do this. But right now, when we are implementing our solution for the leagues in Europe, or for some broadcasters in broadcast layer, they day by day, they will understand how easy this kind of technology can be implemented, and exactly this is our main core competency in the industry, that our immersive technology, and also right now our virtual advertising technology, could be done 100% remotely and software based. And also, as you mentioned, especially regarding the virtual advertising, some new spaces revealed during this situation, the fan seats and other inventories. But from my point of view, as a football fan, I really like to see the stadium full of the fans, and just using the other inventories to make new revenue for the right holders.
Yeah, for sure, the fans is the base of our industry in general. So I'll go to Rahat. How was the COVID-19 effect on your company?
So it was an interesting one, similar to what Mohammad is saying. We got a lot of time to be able to really innovate and just take a pause and really see what we can create further. The first initial few months were difficult because obviously there was no sport happening, and then suddenly sports started coming back. But specifically, I think with the buggy cam, it was quite interesting, because what the buggy was able to do for us was really maintain the idea of the bubble, because in most of the tournaments that we work in, there was the teams were in a different bubble, and the camera teams were in a different bubble, and the buggy cam was this device that allowed us to kind of take the cameras in, be around players. We actually developed a hydraulic tower with the buggy, so we could put mics and allow interaction with the commentators remotely. So we kind of utilized the scenario to be able to take the technology and enable more interaction in that way. So the buggy kind of really filled in that gap of interacting between the two bubbles and enabling some of that interaction. So it was definitely a tough one, but I think it overall worked out well.
Yeah, that's glad to hear. I believe the guys who are on field, maybe Talal, Paulo, Jamal, André, they struggled a lot because of the COVID-19 cases. Talal, can you tell us about your experience with COVID?
Well, COVID-19 time wasn't easy actually, but in the end, I mean, we managed, we managed all production, all requests came to us. So this is the good thing, but actually it wasn't easy, especially the first year, like almost like no events, no production, nothing at all, But the time there is production and some special out of the football, let's say, I mean, they asked to quarantine full team like for more than 2 weeks, doing nothing, just to keep them safe, just to do like 3-4 days of production. And this wasn't easy, and especially that we don't have enough resources, to keep dedicate like 20 or 30 of our crew just to stand by to make production, and after maybe 2 weeks, This was really not easy, I mean working and making tests for every 2 days, 3 days to make sure that everybody is negative. This wasn't easy, especially when you found someone from your crew in the field get positive result. So this like a disaster for everyone, But in the end, this was happened, and we need to deal with this, and we need to manage. And I believe everybody was dealing good with this COVID things.
Yeah. Jamal, from your side, regarding missing one of the crew or missing one of the teams, sometimes to struggle to get the PCR test on time. How was the experience, or how is it still on so far?
Actually, it's still on, yes. So yeah, during the COVID protocol for the football, we suffered with the operation. For example, the testing, and everyone's supposed to have the test. Then after that, we have level 2 to have the vaccine plus the test. And the way how we changed for example, the channels, interviews with the players, we implement this new protocol or new regulations to have the social distance, to use the boom mic, a lot of things, wearing the mask in the mix zone. A lot of new regulations that we had it now during the COVID things. And till now we have this issue. For example, in the OB, I remember my last experience in Emirates Club. The audio engineer from the production company from Live, he didn't get his test. And the other colleagues of his team, he was the manager. He came to Ras Al Khaimah, and all his colleagues, they were positive. So he was the only one who was working on the audio and the OB, and we couldn't do the risk and let him in. He was dealing with it from his car, calling one of his colleagues in the OB and try to manage it. So this is one of the challenges. It went well, but at the end, the risk of having someone without test, it's a high risk, so we couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's crazy. I remember the last match day of the last season, when we had 4 productions happening at the same time, and we got a couple of cases. I remember it was hectic for everyone. I don't know, Paulo, if you would like to add anything on that part, on that match day specific.
Yeah, COVID is a huge challenge because at the end we plan everything, but we cannot control the results. So sometimes the results came on time, sometimes don't came, sometimes came the wrong result. So in this match we have limited resources. So at the end we are doing a lot of matches the same day. We put some plan Bs in place, but it's a plan B. We never, if we lose some guys, the production will be noticed, you know. So at the end, these days, we are praying for everybody not to get a positive test and to have the result on time. Because even the labs and this type of things, we cannot control. So you cannot do the test early, because if not, it's not valid for the match. But we cannot also do late, because if not, we will not reach on time. So was a crazy times, but at the end we learned. It was a good experience. I think everybody, as usual, from one bad thing, we take good learnings.
Yeah, for sure.